You wouldn't know it, but the Wirral on Merseyside is ground zero for the battle now raging for the soul of the Labour Party. And for many old hands in Labour in this part of the world, and maybe many Newsnight viewers, this may feel all too familiar. Newsnight was here in Wallasey 25 years ago, covering an emboldened local Labour Party who were trying to deselect their local Labour MP. Well, plus ça change, because it's happening all over again. Except this time, it isn't a local backbencher who can't guarantee the support of their own party members, but Angela Eagle, who, theoretically at least, could be leader of the Labour Party in just a few months' time. In standing against Jeremy Corbyn, Angela Eagle has incensed many of her own activists, including her own constituency chair.
She has done such strange things recently. For months we've had her coming to Wallasey Constituency Party, telling us how she's doing and what she's doing and what the party's doing. And she has always shown, support for Jeremy. Right, there's been, oh, he's doing a good job. When asked about, the stuff about the referendum, oh, he's been running up and down the country like a 25-year-old. And then less than a week later, he hasn't shown any leadership qualities. That's a load of rubbish.
She said that she would work with any leader, any elected leader, and get behind him for the democratic right of our members. And on that basis, we supported her. So now she's contesting and saying that Jeremy is not a good leader, and she's contesting that leadership, and we feel hugely let down by Angela.
Cathy only joined the party with Jeremy Corbyn and less than a year later is chair of a CLP numbering over 1,200. For many involved with Momentum, this is part of a strategy, slowly building up strength on local party committees and consolidating that strength and influence across Labour nationally.
We do have a meeting on the 22nd of this month, and there will be motions debated at that meeting in which there will be a decision taken about who Wallasey CLP support in this leadership contest.
Cathy might be new, but this man certainly isn't. A quarter of a century ago, that Newsnight investigation focused on the attempt to deselect Birkenhead Labour MP Frank Field. The man who tried to unseat him? Paul Davis. He's back in the party and vice chair of Wallasey CLP.
There'll be 2 or 3 moves. There'll be a move to punish MPs. I accept that by some people. I don't think we should punish people. I think they should be prepared to take the same route they thought was fit for Jeremy Corbyn. He faced a vote of no confidence. They said he should resign. They then denigrated him for not resigning. So if an MP gets a vote of no confidence in their constituency, having said that, they should resign.
But today, the action against Angela Eagle went beyond mere threats of deselection. Sometime this morning, a brick was thrown into the window of her constituency office. The response on Facebook wasn't exactly friendly.
We didn't expect anything where they're going to start throwing things through the window, but we did know that the environment in which we were working was becoming increasingly hostile. I mean, my son had made sure I have a little alarm thing on my keys now because he's worried about me, especially when we do the surgeries with the MPs,
In the wake of the murder of Joe Cox, many spoke of a kinder politics and new respect for MPs. Clearly, the author of this email, obtained by Newsnight, sent only today to Angela Eagle's office, didn't take it to heart. Some members of the local party say a culture of intimidation has gripped Labour across the Wirral. Councillor Moira McLaughlin is a veteran of the battles of the 1980s.
On the basis of what's happening at the moment and what happened here in Birkenhead 30 years ago, almost certainly there'll be an attempt to get rid of Angela and also some of the councillors that support her. I would fully expect that to happen.
Well, within Wallasey, the tone of the meetings has been appalling. We've had threats of violence, homophobia, arguments between grown men and women, and now most recently today we've had an actual act of violence, a brick thrown through a window.
What sort of things have you heard at meetings?
Well, with homophobic comments aimed at Angela Eagle, who wasn't present at the meeting, homophobic gestures made towards people in the meeting at the mention of Angela's name. One lady at a recent meeting even threatened to punch somebody. And what really angers me is that this is a blatant contradiction of our own laws our own values as members of the Labour Party. We should work together in spirit of solidarity, tolerance and respect.
Some say this is simply robust debate.
We're being asked to believe that amongst the councillors who were there, the trade union officials who were there, the people who supported Angela, the people that don't support Angela, not one person stood up to object to intimidation, or worse, to object to homophobia. Now, I would criticise anyone who heard a homophobic comment or saw a homophobic gesture at a meeting who didn't challenge it. I would...
Maybe they felt they couldn't. Maybe they felt they were intimidated.
You know, that's a good excuse, isn't it, you see, to say, I couldn't complain about the intimidation because I was intimidated.
Many would never have thought that the internecine battles of the 1980s would return to Merseyside. A vote of no confidence will take place in Angela Eagle in her constituency on the 22nd of July. One source on the CLP told me tonight that the momentum for that motion was unstoppable. If she's still a candidate for leader, what happens then, like much else in the Labour Party right now, is anyone's guess.